Because I began learning English when there was no internet, when I didn't have any access to co speakers. We did not have access to many channels during those days. Of course, I had access to some English channels, but they were rare, very selective. So, if I was able to do so much in those days with limited resources, I think you can do a lot today. This is one of the main reasons why you're not able to work on your language skills. Even if you're working ardently, you may not experience the progress. That is, listening skills. A good listener can be a good communicator. You're already aware of that. Now, the problem is, many people know about this. You all know about reading, writing, listening, speaking, but listening is not made a priority. And that is probably one of the reasons you're not able to experience the change, the progress, and it's a serious problem. Language learning is all about being patient and it's also about listening. Only if you can listen and not hear, hearing is different from listening. I know that you can hear me, but only if you listen to me, it'll help you. Taking down notes in the form of bullet points, pointers, or even in the language that's understandable is a great way of registering things in your mind. These are not lectures. These are not classes because you don't need anybody to teach you a language. You need to imbibe the language. If at all you're not able to experience that, pay attention to the language around you. Make the environment. I've already done a video on this topic. How to make the environment when you really don't have people to speak in English with you. Even if you don't have partners, you can do that. Because I began learning English when there was no internet, when I didn't have any access to co speakers, people who were always available to speak in English to correct me. No. The first point is only if you listen properly, you'll be able to understand where you are, track the progress. When you're an adult learner, you would have been through learning. I take training sessions, one to one training sessions for adult learners. So the problem is you've been through different experiences. Even if you did not get a chance to go to an English medium school, you can definitely pay attention. Because listening is what helps you to track your progress, the problems that you face. Of course, you all know about the problems you face, you're experts in that. But what is to be done? What's the next step? The solution comes in front of you only when you pay attention. I did that. Initially, when I began learning a new language, it used to be a painful process, a task for me actually. But the quality of listening really helped me. The quality of reading also helped me throughout. So even if you don't like something, if you feel that there are pointers, if you feel that there are reference notes and there is some information, please sit through it. Today we are living in the digital era and it's not very easy to sit through something, right? Because we swipe, we touch, we go through reels and it's quite fast. Listen to understand, listen to comprehend. Even if you don't have to answer anything, you have to listen. Today I can see people just listening to find who knows better English. Perhaps the the trend is making it highly competitive and challenging. And many learners lose the essence of enjoying the learning process. I think 10 years back, the education system paid attention to such things. Of course, we are living in a very competitive, highly competitive world. And it's also erasing some aspects of learning with joy. We have to consciously induce the joy of learning in schools, colleges, and even when it comes to higher levels of education. But people who do it subconsciously just enjoy it. And that is when they are able to track their progress. So you may just wonder how it's possible. You may also get awestruck wondering how it really happens. You would have seen people speaking beautiful English fluently despite coming from a rural background, not belonging to the background of an English medium school. How did this happen? Listening is important. You pay attention and then you'll be able to track your progress. Filter, you'll know where you are. That itself gives you a clarity. When you don't listen, you're presuming. And sometimes prior knowledge can be dangerous. It's good to have prior knowledge because we all have been learning English as a subject, right? So we have some idea with reference to grammar, comprehension, reading, and at times we know parts of speech as well. But how to implement the practice? It comes through listening because that is also the practical aspect of life. When you listen carefully, you should also pay attention to so many things. Communication is not just about the verbal aspect. Non-verbal communication also tells a lot. It speaks a lot about what the person or what the situation really wants to convey to you. Even if something is not directly intended at you, you will get to know many things about language. Why do you have to say that English is so difficult? Any language can become tedious and difficult when you don't pay attention. When you want to remain in that speech bubble, thinking that I know and this prior knowledge is more than enough. I would like to be blunt when it comes to this. Many people face a problem because they don't pay attention. It's a way of escaping from what you really know and what you don't know. You're capable of many things. You may not want to acknowledge that and may just choose to remain in that speech bubble or in an area that is not going to help you with progress. When you listen carefully, it helps you to be compassionate. When I say compassionate, it's not about understanding everything and paying attention to what other people say, even when the time gets wasted. You don't have to listen to everything. Sometimes people are there to waste your time. That's true. Constructive listening, paying attention to things that really can help you without any judgment. When it comes to the learning realm, when it comes to the learning platform, YouTube is also a great platform that can help you with self learning. Instead of presuming that only two people or one area or one type of method can help you, listen, see, observe, look at the verbal and non-verbal communication also. I'm giving you all these pointers because I've been giving these guidelines through my training sessions. Being a trainer, I think I'm quite grateful and privileged to understand that many people don't pay attention. They don't read carefully, but before reading comes listening because through listening, you get a lot. You get a lot through listening. Listening to podcasts, listening to people around you, even if you don't have the atmosphere. Slowly, slowly, you will develop the interest towards reading because you're creating an environment. Listening to so many other resources available on YouTube, on internet, and otherwise definitely can help you. But if you ask me where's the time, you have to find the time. Listening to something just for 15 minutes can also help you consistently. It can help you with pronunciation when it comes to language. It can help you with articulation. And then when you read aloud, you will notice a change because you're getting a lot of information. Reading and listening help you with inputs. And then you practice that while speaking and writing. That's the truth. And that's how all these four skills help you track the progress. When you are listening, you're also present. You're present in that moment. You are living the moment. Haven't you heard that the best way to learn a language is to live it? Because you have language all around you. And today, when you're learning the English language, I know it's not your native tongue, but still, you can use all the three pronunciations Indian, British, American, and you'll get the fluency when you carefully listen to resources, information, knowledge. Even if you're not able to understand 100%, 85%, 80% comes live when you try living the language. When you have all the resources, what's the point of complaining and saying, I don't know from where to begin? You know from where to begin because you know where you stand. You have been listening to English for a very long time. Now, here comes filtration. Don't keep listening to the same type of content because that may not help you with progress. Some of the conversational videos do not use the right grammar, the right sentences. There's nothing known as perfect English, but there's something known as standard English, good sentences, correct sentences, right? Even native speakers make mistakes, just like how we make mistakes while speaking in our native tongue. Yes, you can do justice to it when you choose to listen different types of content, cooking channels delivered in good English, consistently listening to podcasts, listening to people around, and also taking down notes. Because when you listen, you are actually asking yourself to help you understand certain things. Only when you understand certain things, you'll be able to write down those notes, right? Do it subconsciously. When you have the interest, you will definitely develop these skills. Just like how I mentioned about note taking. It's not going to consume a lot of time. Believe me, it's easy. I've been through it. And many learners who are beginners, intermediate learners, just upgrade to the next level subconsciously. You know why you still live in that mother tongue interference? Because you're not listening carefully. You think that people work on pronunciation consciously. Of course, you have to do it consciously, but cautiously is better. Listen carefully, you can also master it. Even if you're not going to become proficient, you will notice the change. You don't have to do it consciously all the time. Now, when you choose to listen, you will not chatter. You will always indulge in productive talk. See, to an extent, chattering is good. When you want to just speak your mind, you're actually working on your language. But productive talk, like speaking on a topic, selecting a topic, and then sequencing the thoughts and delivering one by one. I've already done videos on guidelines towards making your own points, sequencing your thoughts. So, chattering and just speaking without any content, without any meaning, will reduce. You'll be able to eliminate speaking, chattering without any meaning. Even if you make grammatical errors, it's okay. Find meaning, avoid repetition. Yes, you will definitely avoid speaking about yourself. There are a lot of people who are so fluent, very good in the language, but they just keep speaking about themselves. You will stop repeating the points and also always pointing all the points towards you. Like whenever you speak on a topic, try to include subjective and objective ideas. Whenever you speak, try not to be subjective, like saying, I, the other day, I went shopping. Suppose you're speaking on shopping. You can begin with general points. Look at the society, look at people around you. You're not being judgmental, you're just conveying something that you've observed all these years. And then you can give some examples. So, pointing always at your experience reduces. You'll be able to do it in a productive way instead of always centering and focusing on you. Don't you think it sounds redundant when you keep on speaking about the topic? Focusing on you. I did this, I. You will get to experiment with different nouns, different subject, people, he, she, or my relatives, and then you come back to you. Instead of speaking about your experience, you can also speak about your country, the world, and then you can insert some points where you can say, the other day, I also had a similar experience. It sounds interesting. You'll be able to arrange it in a better way, sort it out, organize, and there'll be some sort of discipline that you will experience while speaking. And when you listen, you will also be able to understand a lot about the speaker, relate with the emotions of the speaker, because you're observing. You're not observing to judge, but to comprehend. And also, it's a good way of paying attention to the time, giving some time, sparing some time, because most of the time, listening can heal people. I have many people coming to me during language counseling sessions saying, nobody's there to listen to me. When I try speaking in English or even in my mother tongue, nobody just wants to listen. Everybody's too busy. I mean, you don't have to sit and listen to the person for hours, but definitely you can just pay attention to what he or she has got to say. Life is so transitory, and listening is a great quality because when you escape, if it's for the good sense, you can escape negative thoughts and negative vibes, but you're also escaping from within. You are escaping yourself, you're escaping all the thoughts that bubbled from within. When you listen to people attentively, you get an insight of what you know, what's there within. You can correct. And that's why today, brain gym activities, reading, meditation, listening. What is meditation? It's also an area, a space where you get to listen to yourself. Listen to your body, your mind, the thoughts. Sometimes you just have to sit there still without even thinking about anything, just feeling the air, right? So, listening is a great way of just inhaling all that comes. When I say inhale, it's not about absorbing and agreeing, accepting everything that the person says. You get to know a lot when you listen to people, the body language, and everything without being judgmental. When you choose not to listen, when you have all the podcast and videos, you're actually not doing justice to your learning journey. It's not enough that you just do something on a daily basis without listening, because that's the very first step along with reading. If you don't like reading, you can begin with listening, because that improves your patience. And one more thing is, I'm not compelling you to listen to everything that comes your way, but when you know that you need something, you can spare some time. I hope you find this video helpful, because when I began working on my language, I used to listen to my friends when I was not able to deliver even a sentence in the language. I've shared my personal journey. I used to listen to everything that came my way. But I used to listen to many things that came my way, and we did not have access to many channels during those days. Of course, I had access to some English channels, but they were rare, very selective. I did not have any access to the regional languages. It was always in English or in Arabic, because I grew up in a Middle Eastern country. But I was so thankful, because after listening to the channels or the content, we used to discuss going back in the classroom. And listening also to the teachers, listening to some experiences shared by teachers from different subjects helped me understand the topics. And whenever something was interesting, I used to read more about it from books, because we didn't have internet. So if I was able to do so much in those days with limited resources, I think you can do a lot today. And definitely, you can experience a progress at a faster rate. So I hope you understand what I was trying to give you through this video. And please do justice to your listening activities. God bless you all. Happy learning.